Good morning, good morning. Oh, hello. I did not mean to leave that down there. Sorry for the infinite mirror syndrome, but good morning. Hello, happy Sunday. I hope that your day's been going well so far. Something like that. Words, they're hard. So last time, oh, Gareth Hubble. Hello, good morning. Good afternoon for you too as well, yeah. It is almost 9 a.m. So it's fairly early in the morning for me. Let's see. So today the plan is to go through and do more like a Rocket server, Rocket.rs. Now, Rocket is so far my favorite of the APIs for the backend stuff. We did get some suggestions for other, it's almost the middle of the night. Yeah, sort of. We did get some suggestions for other backend servers that we could try out, but I just added them to my list of like explorations to do, not necessarily like for this project. I like Rocket too much for that right now. As a reminder, the project is going to be for like a point collector. We haven't decided what the name for it's going to be. Is it going to be points, tokens? I think in Discord there were some suggestions along some crustacean themed ones, like crabbies. Do I have like a 2-second echo going on? Let me. I mean, it's certainly possible. Let me make sure I'm not. No, I'm muted on my preview. Where's my. You don't hear one, Gareth? Okay, then it might be you stacking. Maybe. I can also verify that really quickly. Let's go to my channel. And I can also verify that really quickly. Let's go to my channel. Yeah, I don't hear that. Oh, and it hard refresh fixed it. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. Well, with that, let's go ahead and open up our workspace here. Let's see. What did we call it? It was Point Collector API. So this API is going to be the one that sort of holds all of the other point collectors, like point collector data, like inputs. So we're going to start with Twitch, which is going to have some kind of extension that you have that like just sends data back to it, and then you get points that way. For YouTube, that's going to be a little bit more interesting because as far as I know, I can't have like an extension that runs on the YouTube page. So I think I might have to do like a browser extension maybe, or something else. I'm not exactly sure how I want to do that. But then that will then send that can also send points. And then for database, we're going to use Postgres and Hasura for GraphQL. So here we are, point collector, we're on main. I was playing around with this so far yesterday and just sort of like seeing what we have here. So I kind of want to start over and do this in a little bit better of a architecture, because this was just my experimentations. And so far, like Rocket is, if anything, it's even easier, which is nice. Now that nearly anything supports Chrome web extensions, that might be a good route to take. Yeah, and then I of course personally use Firefox, so I would also add Firefox extension in there, but I have no idea how different they would be. Like it's quite possible that the JavaScript part of it would be exactly the same, and you just have to have two different builds that maybe we can figure out how to do with some kind of CI/CD system. But that's all besides the point. Now, what we have here is, okay, we're using Rocket. And I found that I have to pull in request and Xilbe. Request would be because the way I'm planning on having this is we're going to send the Helix token back from the web extension to this API, and along with the client ID, and then we're going to then make a request and say, hey, are you what I expect you to be? And I was able to successfully do that. Not only that, it's really easy to do the async await inside of Rocket because they're both using Tokio behind the scenes, which is nice. I was really worried that this just wouldn't let me just do the await without some fun stuff going on. With both those, you have Chrome, Firefox, Edge, and Opera covered. Oh yeah, that's true. Opera too? Really? Edge, of course, because of Chrome, right? So like Edge and Chrome are the same thing. Firefox, obviously. Oh, and then Brave is the other one, but you can't really just add arbitrary web extension, like web things to it. You have to deal with it some other way. But okay, so what I want to do here is I want to just sort of like break this out into maybe like a better folder structure. Oh, Opera now runs on Chromium. Oh man, everything is switching over. Everything except Firefox. They're using the Open Web API. I haven't looked in that in a long time. Okay, so here we have our route. So I'm thinking probably a route folder, or at least having like a library and having most of that stuff in here. Because we are needing to deal with some kind of, all the major browsers agreed upon it. Oh, that's going to be so much more nice. Maybe, maybe I should pivot instead of doing just a, maybe we should just do a browser extension for everything. That would be just convenient then across, and make it like the same. Well, yeah, that'll probably just work out better for me. Maybe I'll just pivot and we'll just do that instead of the Twitch extension, because that way we'll just do, hey, it's just install this web extension and you go to Twitch, you go to YouTube, you go to whatever, and you get points. That might be better. Regardless, the back end is still going to remain the same. So that's where we're going to build this first. So here in the main library, what am I thinking about? I'm thinking about doing a like a routes folder, and it's not going to be like MVC really, because this is an API, but like a routes folder specifically, so that way the library is just calling these other folders. So that way, especially when I need to do some kind of database stuff, we're gonna have like a database section too. So great, we have this library, but we're also gonna need like a routes. I think I can get away with just a file for the routes for right now. We may have to refactor this into a different section. So we'll mod routes. And what I want to do is we can just sort of change this around now, right? So let's do a get along sort of like this idea here. And I'm just going to have it return a static string saying, hey, this is not how you use it. Like hello world, essentially. So we can see where we want this, like a get here, that probably from this macro use extern create rocket, which we do in main. So then we should have that available everywhere, I think. Mr. Bahan, that is a good one. I don't think I have that set up right now. Give me 1 second. Where is it? Oh, Nightbot, open up. I closed the window, so let's see, where's my hands, custom project. I guess this is like kind of correct. Also, why didn't that work? Oh, you did a question mark. That's what happened. It apparently didn't like the question mark on it. So we are building a Rocket API for a points collector in Rust. All right, so now if we do project, it works. Yeah, so apparently the question mark does not trigger that command. Oh, so Safari is the only one you still have to do a strange objective C. Really? Not even Swift? Oh, that's too bad. All right, so I want to do this thing. So I'm going to copy you over into here, and we're going to change things up a little bit. So this is going to be, we're going to start with a get to slash. There's going to be no data for it. We're just going to be, hey, if you get to slash, we're going to have async function. Sure, index is probably correct. We have our, and you probably need a pub. We're not going to take anything in. And we can return a static stir. We'll have WebSocket stuff. You know, for this thing, I don't think it'll be WebSockets because I don't care about every like microsecond that you're connected and watching. I think what it'll be is like every few minutes you can send a request back and say like, hey, I'm still watching. And then when like, we'll use some backend timestamps to figure out how long you've been watching. I can also use this for a little bit of metrics to see what you're watching too, which can be helpful. Can be helpful for me in deciding what future things to do. I've done WebSockets before, and don't worry, we will do WebSockets again in the future. Specifically when we do gaming and like multiplayer stuff, which I do want to get back into because I came up with a really amazing sort of simulation game idea. But before I even like consider building up software for it, I need to figure out what I need to like actually build a physical version, like a paper prototype of it, and play it by myself. See if it actually works as an idea. Okay, so this one I don't need to do a like request at all. So I think what we're going to do is just return this hello world like that. Oh, and I totally forgot that I have Copilot active on this repo. Copilot is working just fine inside of code spaces, pretty easily actually. So that's nice. This is a little bit loud for me. Okay, so if you are there, then we mod the routes. We probably need to pub mod the routes. Maybe? What do we need to do in main? So in main, okay, so we do a rocket, build, mount. So we're probably gonna do this inside of the library now. Maybe? Okay, so we do routes index. Oh, is a reference to this method. Hero AAX or AX. Hello. Does someone have experience with Rust WASM? You know, I don't have too much experience with it. We played around with a tutorial for it and to create WASM like just locally, but I don't really have any good resources for that besides just like, well, like the I don't know if it's like a book, but it's sort of like the documentation for like West WASM when you search for it. Obviously we created some with you, but that's, I don't know if that counts because that did it all for us. Let's see. So what I want to do is not do this stuff. I did use you on the stream, but I don't really count as that like knowing WASM because like it does all that stuff for you behind the scenes. It was pretty like it just makes it easy. So if you don't need it, if you're just like looking for a front end framework that you want to use yourself that uses WASM, then you is great. Otherwise, if you just want to create WASM yourself, there's a bunch of stuff you need to do, and I forget what it was. Also, this is my wrong drink. This is the drink after my caffeine. You're trying to do multi-threading and WASM is just bugging around and giving errors you can't understand. Is because WASM is meant to be used in the front end and JavaScript is not multi-threaded. Is that even possible? That's a really good question. I didn't even consider that multi-threaded could be a possibility. I just sort of assumed that it wouldn't allow you to do it. But maybe different browsers would work better for it. Also, bear in mind, WASM's still in like super early phases. It's like in beta or alpha. It's there's a lot of changes still coming, so maybe future support will bring that in. Okay, so I don't need. Okay, we do macro use. We need to bring in so use. I think it would be, okay, so point collector API, not that. Oh, stop. Oh, you can't find my thing. Okay, so point collector API, then routes. Index. Okay, you found that. Then this index will be used there as to mount at slash. Oh, the base at slash. Okay, so I can do something like API v1 or something like that. That would be nice. This struct, we don't need you. So if I save you, you're not unhappy. Could not find routes. Okay. Oh, you need to be saved and you need to be public. Cannot find. Okay, no major errors. Let's see if we can run this. Maybe. Okay, so we're running on localhost here. That means I can go to localhost 8000 myself and take a look at this. Oh, there's a concept. Okay, so it can be web workers. Basically just thread called by async functions, but it's yeah, so I have used web workers before a very long time ago when they first came out. But I hadn't really thought about them in the context of WASM. That makes a lot of sense. That actually makes a ton of sense to use them together with WASM. Yeah, but I do remember that it's like good luck figuring out how that's gonna work. Also, the caching thing with web workers is not fun either. Okay, so we have this hello world here. Actually, I don't need to keep this up all the time. So here's our get request for this hello world. Great. So we'll probably eventually replace this with something like, hey, this is not the API route you really want. But I'm really curious if I replace this with something like API v1. Now, I'm really curious because for like versioning type things. I've always done it like this, where it's like API v1 and then the route. But then I was thinking about, what if I want to have a different version of like this same index here? Would I just mount another thing for v2 and have like an index v2 on it? Can I do multiple mounts? I guess so. Then I can do a v2. So if I do that, then let's come. So this won't work until I rebuild. Even the examples in the WASM multi-threading library, there are comments like, I really don't understand why this is working. That gives a lot of confidence, doesn't it? Okay, so then you're going to be 404 until I do API v1 like that, and then we get our hello world. Okay, so that's very nice. Now, what I've been curious about is like, should I instead do something like, why can I do to multiple mounts? So can I do like another mount? And then we would do API v2 here, and we'll do it. We don't have to do that. We just do none of that. You are very unhappy. Unexpected token, whatever that is. It's because I'm using this twice. So mount open, close. Yeah. Well, it's very unhappy with this. Oh wait, do I have? I had an extra parentheses. That's what it was. Okay, so I'm just. I know it might be simple, like silly to have like two index being used twice, but heck, I can do it. So I come here for that, and then I can also come here for that. Ooh, okay, so I like this. So here's the idea. We can put the different functions into a v2, or like leave them in v1 as we need, and like take them away as we go to like v2. And that's how we can do versioning here. So we can just do API v1. The route index here is only cares about itself, and we're good to go. So to begin with, we have this index. Sure, that's fine, but let's come back to here and we'll figure out what we want to do the rest. So we want to probably have some kind of like post, right? Where we're going our what is it? A web extension? What are they called? Are they extensions? Add-ons? I guess like for Firefox, it's an add-on. I can come here and I can say, okay, give me an add-on, right? So like I can go here, add an add-on. So add-on extension, whatever. So we'll probably do a post to it and then just say, hey, I'm here. So that would be something like post. What I do to slash? Possibly. And then I think I would need to take in the like some kind of token to verify that it's like who you say you are. Let's just do a slash for right now, and then we'll just like slowly get this going. So pub async function. This is gonna be like essentially create. Then we could start with a static stir. We could do another hello world again. Bring you in. And then I have this Thunder client here. We can use this to hit a post to localhost 8000. Is it cargo watch? I kind of want to get that going so I can just have it auto rebuild for me. I think this is it, right? Watches over your project source and runs a cargo command. Yeah, that's exactly it. Okay, so it's cargo-watch. And then the way it's going to work is we cargo watch and then do an x-x and then the command we want to run. So in this case, run. Then we'll have the Hasura thing. So we need to spin up a database, and we'll probably need to Dockerize this entire thing to make it just a little bit easier to sort of work with and have everything spin up together, which is not really that big of a problem. Deployment plans are to put this on probably like an EC2 instance, just like on a free tier, and have that run for a little bit of time. And I'll probably put the database on the same server for right now, just to make it cheap. So many things to install. You're almost there. All right, so we're gonna do cargo watch -x and run. And so this is now going to run cargo run every single time there's going to be a source code change. So that way I won't have to constantly come in and restart the server, which is going to be really nice. So now I can just leave that down there. Lumicode, hello, good morning for me, afternoon for you. Let's see. So now I can do a post to here. We just send, oh, right. It's also API v1. That did not work. Let's see. Not found. So, oh, you know what? If I build this, I should probably actually register it, shouldn't I? So here we have the routes. We have this create. So we have to come in here and add in a create. Connection refused. Well, that's different. Why did you refuse? Oh, was it still rebuilding maybe? it was still rebuilding. So now it's working. Okay, so I do have to give it a little bit of time between when I hit save and like go and send the request. But there we go. Okay, we're getting that back. Now, of course, sending a single string back and any kind of like post is not really all that helpful. We're gonna want to send some kind of JSON back. So what are our options here? And can I just figure out how to do this without actually looking at documentation? So can I, like, this is just a static stir. Could I say I want, just put something in here. Let's have a struct response. I guess it would be like a create response. And we'll have something like a message. Yeah, it could be a string. Then I want you to be create response. And yeah, now we're going to put hello world inside of the message. We have a major error though. Okay, so create response. Okay, it must be a responder. Okay, we have to implement responder for this. So I wonder if we can manually implement that. So implement, ooh, there is a responder method. I wonder if I could, okay, we'll do this first. For create response, implement our missing registers. Okay, so respond to, we get a request, which is this, okay, a rocket request, and then rocket response, result with a lifetime of O. I don't see where that comes from. Yeah, okay, undeclared lifetime O, so that means we're gonna have a lifetime in here. Dota 2 Attitude, hello! I am not making a to-do app. Sorry. So I'm not stealing your idea. I'm not stealing everyone's idea from the beginning of programming. You take it back. I mean, but if you want me to, let's see. So I need both an R and O. Can I derive this? Is there a derive method for this? Can I just do derive responder? Oh, you made a sick Angular project? Like I would assume, like a normal like an Angular 2+, like 8 or 18 or whatever they are now. Except you broke all the tests in the Angular project. Oh, well, I mean, that just means that it's not past QA yet. Expected attribute found, derived macro responder, not an attribute. Okay, so we need to go look at the documentation. Let's see, we need to go to Rockets. And we're looking for a responder. Okay, so there's types that implement this trait can be used as the return type of a handler. Okay, so that's exactly what we're doing. They've they provide an implementation for strs, strings, and a reference to array slices or vector slices or whatever. Vectors, entire files, nothing. Options and results. Oh, really? Option, type, and error. So wait a second. Are you telling me that I don't need any of this stuff? What I can do here is I can just say I want an OK. And this is going to be a result. We need an error of some type. So let's just do static stir for right now, just to make that happy. Okay, so no, it doesn't like that. Coding Garden fan, hello. Options are a great one. If you return a none, then it spits out a 404. Sometimes you think, oh, you think it might be Coding Garden's art alt account. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, of course it could be, but CJ streams still. Oh, it's a bot created by CJ? That's a really smart bot. An incredibly smart bot. Let's see. So I can't do this. So you need to be a create response. So it can't just be any TRE. Is machine learning advanced enough to troll Twitch? I mean, if there's gonna be a reason to invent a human, like a bot that can truly beat the Turing test, then troll, like for the purpose of trolling Twitch, is probably good enough. Excluding those buy free followers bots. I think one of those bots that like tries to get you to follow channels, but if it actually acts human, is gonna have a much better chance. Okay, so you don't like this at all. So this is not what I was expecting. Okay, so example, we have this struct here. We could do an option for it. Oh, but okay, so here's our responder for person. Okay, so responder for person, respond to the person string format. Okay, response build. Okay, so interesting. So I think we're gonna have to do this. Let's pull you over to the side. Let's do it. All right, so we have our struct here. We want to create some kind of like message to show off like what we're doing, right? And this is going to be a response. So like right now we're not taking in anything. We're just going to respond with some kind of message. Can I make this side go away? I can't. No. Okay. Fine. So here we have our responder for a person. So we're going to impl responder. Now this is okay. So it's suggesting like static, which we see wants this one too. Here, let's try this. Hey, Copilot, create a responder for create response that will send a hello world string in the as the message. Okay. Impl responder static for create response. Function respond to. So already it's not following this. Oh, I clicked away and it went away. No, don't disable. Bring it back. Come back. You're against its use. I don't know. I've been experimenting with it back and forth. I don't mind Copilot or things like Copilot. It does change a lot of what you do into reading code as opposed to writing code, which I do think is a very fascinating sort of side here. So impl responder static for this, function respond to. So like, I don't really know. You think you dislike the suggested output? You haven't tried it yet. Your opinion is born of ignorance. It's really fascinating because it's not made for Rust in any way whatsoever, but it's trying its best. Now look at this. It's actually trying to create the function too, which is too much. It wants to do like all of these things, like in between, like, so it wants to create this and the responder. Heck, this one wants to post and a get. That's too much. So thank you. Copilot really works best when web development, JavaScript. Yeah, I mean, the collecting the data is like basically just, hey, if it's open source, we're gonna look at it, which, you know, we don't have any proof that GitHub wasn't doing this beforehand either. JavaScript, the worst written of the languages. So think about it. Which language do you want an AI helping you out with? A language that already helps you out, like Rust, or you know, a language which you can get yourself into trouble with very easily. Okay, so let's come back to here. So we're gonna do impl with, okay, so impl, we already need to give it a lifetime. So responder with, okay, the same lifetime there, and then also now this static lifetime, we'll see. For create response. Now inside of here, we have a respond to, so here's our rocket request. It takes in and whatever, and returns a rocket response result with this Oh, which they changed to static. Oh, okay. Interesting. Now, so far, no problems. So the next thing is that we're going to create a person string. So this is obviously for their person type, which is up here. Oh yeah, they did mention that they're supposed to look at that kind of thing and like pay attention to the licenses, but yeah, you never know. That being said, people are like just abusing licenses regardless. Your CTO has bandits use at work. Well, at work, I can totally understand. For open source work, I can see it being very helpful. So let's see. So you create a person string. Okay, so you're creating this string that's going to be well, you're just a static. Response.build. Okay, so we're going to do a response.build. Size body. Okay, person string.length. Oh, so does this mean we need to use Xilbe to stringify this response, I think. So would that be, what is that? It's Xilbe. We have, starting to hate the term architect as much as senior developer. There's a lot of things out there to hate or not hate. It's interesting. I'd say like mental health though is like just not letting it get to you is probably the most important thing these days. It's what am I thinking of? It's I want to sort of deserialize or serialize. I want to serialize. Okay, that should serialize it to message strings. Then here we want to create that. So let's do let response. It's going to equal to a create response. And we'll just say our message is not that, is just going to be our hello world to string. Sure. Now we're back to here. We're going to do a response build. Response build. So we have to do this sized body, I guess. Cursor new. No, we're not doing that. Okay, so person string that length. So then we have to serialize this. We have to now do something. So we have to do our response dot. Oh, what is it called? Ignore you just recently building an Angular front end that should be easier to microservice. That's nice. Like micro front ends, I'm liking them a lot more recently. Although my definition of micro front end seems to be different than other people's definitions, so there's also that. Maybe micro app is the more appropriate term. You don't want to DevOps? I feel like half the stuff we do is DevOps without knowing that it's DevOps though. So you may already DevOps. Wikipedia has a pretty exact definition of microservice. I haven't looked at it, so that might be a problem. Wait, not microservice. Sorry, micro front end. Micro front end. That's what I'm thinking of. That is very nice, Gareth. Congratulations to your company. That is super good. I do really hard try to do that with my team also. You never heard the term micro front end before? It's new. I've heard it used in different areas. So micro front ends for me are like one page of an app is an entire app. Like you build it as an app, and then that can be independently deployed, which then allows you to sort of like go off and like mix and match different pages together. But I've also heard people say like, hey, deploy the actual like header of the entire site or everything as an app itself, and then you somehow import that in as like a live, I don't know, using like an iframe or something, I guess. And then that way you can have all like hundreds of deployed apps, then you pull them together using like a big sort of like thing. No? Maybe? I don't know. Okay, so I want to serialize this, right? So like that's would that be a toString? I need to turn it into a toString, right? So I can get the length of it. If I serialize it, if I serialize it, I also need to pull in import serialize. So if I do toString, then I can get dot length from that. Then they have this cursor new person string. I have what? I don't know what that is. Does this say? Do I need that? Probably. Oh. No. Okay, size body. Let's give me the entire thing, not sized body. Oh, come on. Show me. So I kind of want to find sized body on the builder here. Sets the body of the response to be the fixed size body with the size which may be none. If size is none, the body size will be computed with calls to seek when the response is written out. Oh, wait, the body will be calculated. So I don't really need this? So I would just say then this is a cursor. Centered IO cursor. New create response. Okay, then there's the set headers that we need to do. So raw header. I guess it would be a raw header. I don't see like a question mark on it. It's just going to be, okay, so raw header. And then we could do content type. This is going to be application JSON. I don't need any others, I don't think. Oh, we can just do, oh, okay, I could just do header. See that now. Header is going to be this content type. Pull that in. New. And then we want this to be I guess application and JSON. I don't believe you. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so first of all, expected attribute, found derived macro, not an attribute. Okay, so am I doing this wrong? Oh, derive. I need a derive. Derive, sure, both. Serialize that. Response. Failed to resolve. Okay, so pull in, this is gonna be a rocket response. And toString. Okay, so method toString exists for struct create response, but its trait bounds were not satisfied. So there's probably something we need to do here. Also, I've been missing chat a lot, so sorry about that. Okay, let's try this again. Now that I have the actual derived macro on it, maybe we'll figure it out. I want... Oh, can I just do serialize? No. Serialize this into a string. Apparently I forgot how to implement serialize for this. Don't use that browser, use this browser. Okay, so serialize. I want the examples. Using derive. Oh, okay. I do assert a JSON to string. That's what I do. Okay. I did it wrong. Okay, so we're gonna do here is slightly different than what I have. We're gonna do assert a JSON. Do I have assert a JSON? No. I should just do a cargo add for it. Come on, give me back my terminal. Give me there. Cargo add assert a JSON. It is underscore, right? It is, okay. Assert a JSON. Then I think we want the feature derive. And if I remember correctly, this will tell me that I don't see it here, but I vaguely remember that you need to give it like there's a feature for derive. But maybe I'm thinking of something else, or maybe it's not anymore. Okay, so if I bring you in, do you just magically work now? We're gonna do assert JSON toString, and then the thing that's gonna be a reference. So a reference to our response, and then dot length. Oh, sorry. I'll unwrap first. Then cursor new, this create response. You expected value, struct create response. I guess you need to be this exact same thing here. So really doing that once would be best. Okay, you're not unhappy. Cargo watch run. All right, what did I miss? I missed a ton. I'm making life hard for myself here. I am not surprised. Oh, you're all trying to help me. Oh no, and I missed. Okay, one of you try to send a link. Let's see. Go to attitude. Oh no. I'm sorry about that. Oh, microfrontends.com. That's what your .org. Hold on. Let me do. Okay. To attitude. If attitude is a VIP, you've been here super long time, super helpful. So that would allow you to submit links now. So sorry about that. You don't often need to create custom responders. You can just return serializable structures wrapped in existing responders, like wrapping your create response in JSON. Oh, started derive is a crate that I would need. Okay. Okay, right now, and then back to the microservice conversation. You have a monolithic microservice front end. Oh, that's fun. Whatever that means. Serialization will block the executor, yes, but presumably the idea is that your structures are quick to serialize, deserialize. That would be hopefully, yes. Ha, I love that. I'm familiar with Docker, unless you want me to DevOps, in which case I am not familiar with DevOps. Okay, so, all right, I'm caught up. Oh, if you paste it to me in Discord, I could take a look at that too. Because I've got that open in my other monitor. You technically are working, so does that mean you're actually gonna work? Let's find out. So where is my... Gonna post to you. Hey, and look at this. We got our hello world message back. Pasted. Where did you paste it? Pasted into programming. Oh, the productivity application. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I can take a look at it a little bit later. It looks like, oh, a decent amount of TypeScript too. Nice. Only 6.5% JavaScript. Oh, that's perfect. This is by the way what I'm looking at. So this will be cool to. So I guess this is your micro, macro, whatever front end in Angular. Nice. You think Postgres and Docker would be handy to move between machines? I am a big fan of Docker for local development purposes. So like you put Docker inside of, you put Postgres inside of Docker with like Docker Compose, and you put like your backend in there, you put other stuff in there, and it just is super helpful. I don't really consider that like a DevOps thing. That's more of just like a dev thing. But yeah, that is really nice. Exactly. Yeah. So then you just do Docker Compose up. You could script that even to like start dev .sh, and it will just do all the stuff you need. Use Docker and Docker Compose in production too. I mean, there's no problem with doing that. I just don't usually do that. Okay, so we have here. This is happening now. You're all yelling at me saying there's a better way of doing it, and I'm just like making things harder for myself. So now that I have this deserialized to a string, is it possible for me not to have to implement this responder? And can I just return with this string with the serialize here? So here I say like, okay, I want to create response. So I guess in this case, we'll keep it the result. We'll create response, which will actually be a string like that. And then we'll do an okay, create response. To string. Oh wait, it's not like that. It's the JSON, assert a JSON to string. Then, nope, don't open that. Let response equals, okay, so we'll just do our create response like that. This will be a reference to response. We can unwrap that, which I might be able to get away with a question mark, depending upon that result. Oh no, the error type, it's not the right kind of error type. So we have to do the unwrap. And then, does that work? Okay, so far so good. If then we come back to here and we hit send, we get this hello world. It's now content type is text plain, unfortunately, which is not going to work for. You're encouraging with harsh words. It's sort of like just staying really calm, but then just saying devastating things. It's like, if you wanted to suck less, just a thought, maybe you can suck less by just not doing all of that. Okay. So I need to tell you to be different. Specifically headers. How do I set the headers to be a JSON object? So I want to Rocket.rs response. Like maybe if I actually looked at the real guide. Okay, so here's this post, new, we're returning this status accepted string. which is from, okay, that. Oh, okay, so status like 201, 200, and then that's a string, but then, okay, format, is that gonna be JSON? So I can do that instead. So let's try that now. Oh, content JSON right here. So it returns content JSON from this. Okay, so then I actually want you to be here. This is not going to be a string. This is going to be content. Come on. JSON. And then you are going to be, I guess, a string, because I want this to be dynamically created, let's say. Right now, of course, it's just static, but who cares? Chantilly Cake, hello! Good morning. You don't even need to make it into a string yourself, as Gareth Helpel suggested. If you set the return type to result JSON create response. Oh, wait, really? Okay, hold on. Result. This is going to be this JSON. So it's going to be this content JSON. Oh, and then this is going to be this create response. Got it. So create response. And then, of course, we have the same whatever we're doing here. You can just return, okay. Oh, ooh. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, and then response. So if I do that, let's see. Axe the content. Oh, I don't need the content. I guess there's a different JSON. Okay, what are you upset about? Type annotations needed. Why? You. Can I find type JSON? Okay. So import JSON from Rocket Survey JSON or Rocket Response Content JSON? Probably this one, which is the same thing as the content JSON that I had. Now the trait bound create response is not satisfied, required because the requirements of the impl of the response responder for so I need a responder. You forgot the stir? Wait, do I need the stir here? Wait, where does the stir go? The stir, I guess like instead of static stir, we'll just do stir. That. Wait, where are you? Lifetime. Fine. Static. Then we're back to you're being unhappy. Okay, result. The trait bound routes create response is not satisfied, required because of the requirements in the impl of the responder for the create response. Now, do I have to do an into for this? Like, will it figure that out? Turn into a string? No. Required because the requirements of the impl convert into the Rocket JSON. Okay, so is there a derive that I can do? Is there a derive that I can do for create response that will make it happier with this? So can I come up here and derive, we derive serialize, can I do responder? That makes you happy, okay. You, mismatch types, found struct, routes create response, expected a JSON routes create response. Yeah, I suppose we could do this where we just like, hey, it's a string or a stir or whatever this is when we pass you in. But then that doesn't feel right. Now can I just say, hey, turn into whatever you need to turn into? Do you know what that is? No, you don't know what that is. Use the Rocket started use a different JSON type. Ooh, okay, let's try that. So let's take out content, that. And let's try this again, but with the Rocket started JSON. Now, if I don't do the into, it hates it. So, but if I do into, I think it understands how to do it now. Full disclaimer, you've never written Rust, but like a proper programmer, you're telling me your suggestions for it. So that's good. No, I mean like doing like mob programming like this is the best thing ever. Now do the arrow thing you've been pestering me for. Wait. What was the arrow thing? I forgot. I already forgot what that was. I need to go back up and find it. Or just can you resend me what the arrow thing is? Control arrow. Go up a line. Hold on. You want me to go up? Hold control and the arrow. Okay. Holding control, left to right, up and down, just does that. It doesn't really do anything for me. Are you talking about wait, are you just asking me to move this up like that? To move this like up a couple lines? Like that? Oh, so control right doesn't go to the end of the line. It just goes to the end of like the next thing. I can put like end, which will go to the end of the line. Now, I guess like bear in mind, I'm on a Windows machine and not a Mac. So like Mac, if I do command, then I could do all that kind of stuff, and that works really nicely. You're learning Mac and Windows at the same time. I know it can be a little bit hard to go like back and forth. I use Mac for all of my work stuff, and I think I'm probably just gonna switch back to Mac for like programming this type of thing too. And it's just, I don't know. Now remember, I was a systems administrator for Mac for like 8 years, so I was indoctrinated early, and you know, I have the Mac brain damage, so. You don't have to have the same problems that I have, but that's where I'm coming from. Okay, so you're thinking return okay JSON and then response. Oh, okay, so let's try this. So we have a response like that. We're just gonna do okay JSON response. Now, what are you upset about? Private type, create response in public interface is a warning. It will become a hard error in the future. Oh, really? So it's telling me that it needs this to be public. Okay. Command plus dot. Oh yeah. I do that all the time. I do control dot and control space all the time. Okay, so if we now run this again, we get application JSON is our content type, which is perfect. That's what we wanted to see. So now we see this message, hello world. We can come back to here and say, hello from the route. There it goes. That's how long it takes to rebuild. So like, I don't know, 20 seconds was that? 15 seconds? Hello from the route. So we're getting proper responses now. Now you've completely outsourced content type and serialization to the Rocket runtime. Yes. Okay, and now other things that we can do. Can I get rid of this serialize here? And we just have the responder derive. No. Okay, so I still have to have the Serde serialize to make that happy. And I can't get rid of this responder either. I can. Okay. So I just need Serde serialize. I don't need a responder. It'll figure that out for me. This all goes away. We don't need any of this cursor stuff. We don't need our content type. Let's see, what else do we not need? Can you throw an error in the create? Good question. So we have this okay error, so then it wouldn't be part of this. Let's right now we just have this static string. So let's say I do something like we'll do an early return error, and then it's a static string. So something went horribly wrong. Now, of course, it yells at me because this stuff can never happen. But if we come back to here and I hit send, now that's not great. Something went horribly wrong, so we get this as our response, but we got a 200 okay. So I want. Now I remember that there was something that we can do for like the content response types, right? So I think it's like response. Response. Oh, come on, you can tell me what it is. Nah. Oh, it's status. Never mind. Hold on. Not response. It's status. Something. Okay, you're still not going to tell me. Cool. I want. There. Give me status. Okay, so we have. What? These are all 200s and 400s. No 500? Huh. Why you do this? Okay, so JSON error response. Yeah, we could do that too. That would make a lot of sense. What I'm kind of surprised about is that there's no like 500s that I can set for this. So I do a response. Maybe we can come back to here. In response, responder errors. Where's the request to the error catcher for this given status code? Forward the catcher to 406 not acceptable. You would no. Okay. Just fail. Okay, so this is gonna return a status. Oh, okay. My responder status equals 500. Content type JSON. Interesting. Okay, so we can do something like this. You can set the error return type to response status custom JSON my type and return error. A bad request. Okay, let's try that. So back to you. Let's try this. We want to, our response type here is now going to be basically this custom. So import custom, it's going to be that rocket response status custom. Now inside of custom, it's going to be this JSON, and then whatever type it is. So we have to create a new type here. So pub struct, this is going to be like an error response. We can just say like error is sure a string. So then you're going to be an error response. Okay, so we have that. Now we're going to return error, and it's going to be, okay, let's just do that error equals an error response. Sure, not unimplemented is probably not right. Oh, everything is fine. You know, just imagine the burning server around you. So we're going to now return error. And then custom bad request JSON. Okay, interesting. So now we return error custom. Do we have to do new? I guess not, right? So like custom. Okay, so it's gonna be the bad request. Bad request, and then the JSON error. Okay. You are upset. Okay, so we need to do the same thing we did up here. So we're gonna derive, debug, and serialize. Bad request. Expected struct status found item function. Yeah, and this sets it to 400, which is not what I want. Now, can I just do like 500? No. Okay. Expected and HTTP status. Okay, so we need like an actual status. And then something in here. Like we could do the bad request, let's say. So you are okay technically. So if I send you, we get this 400 bad request, but we want it to be a 500. Okay, so Dota, you suggest this guide. Look at that, like a catch for a 4. That's interesting. Wait, how do we get 500s? I don't see a 500. However, in this other one here, it has like a status equals 500. So we could just do this. Maybe. So if I take you, I can do catch 404. Maybe? For this error response, right? So we could try that. So catch, I mean, so we could try 404 right away, see if we get a 404. I don't think this will do it. Because this is always gonna be this bad request here. I know I wasn't looking at the chat, so I missed a whole bunch, so sorry. I don't need the derive. Okay, so I don't need this derive. Which is strange because it yells at me if I don't have it. Here. Yes, I might need an import rocket catch. Now what? Oh, catch can only be used on functions. Ah. So there? How about no, okay, so I need to do them separately. Why? Maybe up here? Why is it duplicate definitions? That's weird. Let's see, Epic. For example, in one ROPL application, we do like this, db get account list. That question mark will automatically convert SQLite errors into 500 internal error with a JSON blob, which describes the type of error. Yeah, that's nice. We probably have to like make it so it actually returns that correct kind of error. Of course, I'm trying to force an error, which is a lot different than like a real error. You are okay, so you want to be on a function, but okay. This is what I was thinking about trying, is create a custom responder for this. I had it in a pub struct initially, and it yelled at me there too. So it says basically you cannot put, can only be used in functions. Now it's a little bit hard to read this, but can only be used in functions. Needs to be on a function bad request or pub function error response. Yeah, we could do that too. So we can, here, let's comment you out. We'll do a pub is an async function. I don't know if it needs to be sub pub function error response. I don't know what you're going to take in. And I don't know what you're going to return. Probably something like this. Maybe. Catchers must not fail and thus must be very minimal. That makes a lot of sense. So this is gonna, okay, so this is gonna catch. So then we pull this catch down here. That. I don't know what to return, so I'll just have you. Oh, I guess like you're gonna return a string, right? For right now. So if we just return, sure, why not? Now do I put error response in here? Like this is gonna be error response? You just want to throw the error into the parent function, or maybe this is a static string. This would be a static stir again. We don't have this error anymore. Return error, and then this would be, you're probably upset that, okay, error response like that. And then we call error response. Clippy hasn't determined whether or not I'm good to go. Ooh, no errors. Okay. Okay. So if we come back to here and we hit send, we get a 200 not found. Now, if we come back to you, there was this catch 404. Wasn't there like a status too that we could do? Let's see. Another example to look at. Let's take a look at it. Okay, so error handling. So forced error. Oh, okay. So we do a status new code that we're sending back. Here's this catch 404 function general not found. Okay, so we're just returning that. Let's see. Catch 404. Interesting, lots of errors to go with here. So with this one, no, there's no return there. Oh, we put catchers like this. Oh. Wait, is this not the link that you posted? It isn't. How did I get here? I guess this, Wait. Weird. Okay, I'm trying to copy and paste it, and... Okay, copy. There we go, okay. Field attribute. Additionally, the response attribute can be used on name structures and enum variants to override the status and or default type of response. Okay, so it can be used as follows. So we have this derived responder, enum error. Ooh, okay, so we can have an enum with errors, which gives me a much more like Rusty style error response. Then derived responder. Okay, so then so now for the return type, is the return type going to be an actual string? No, content type JSON. Interesting. Now, how am I going to use this? You can put any serializable type in the enum data, so you can stick custom structs in there. Nice. So let's try this now. Okay, so we're sort of going to reset our errors a little bit. And then come back to this. We have our custom response here. And now we're going to say, we're going to create this. We're going to derive responder. So derive responder. We're going to create an enum error. So then we're going to, okay, so we're going to say, want this response. Status equals 500, please. Sure, content, okay, so content type, it's going to equal to JSON. Then we're going to have, okay, so like maybe like standard error. Whatever that means. Now, you say you take a string, but maybe I can take a custom error here. So we'll do a pub struct custom error with a message string. And then here we're going to derive debug and serialize, which means here standard error takes in a custom error. And I think that would be enough for this. So now you down here are not gonna take this. You're gonna take an error standard error? Expected type, sorry, you take an error. Okay, so then we're gonna stop trying to help. We're gonna take in an error, standard error, stop. This is a custom error to string. Okay, so if we do that, so the ampersand is just a reference, right? So it's just like passing by reference. What are you upset about? Oh, you're not upset about that there. Okay, then you custom error. The trait bound custom error. Responder's not satisfied. Okay, so you need to be a responder too? Or something else? So we need to derive responder as well. Okay. Okay. Dereferences is the star, asterisk. Probably, I would probably want like a function that creates an error for me, where I can like pass that in, which would then return an error like this. That I think that's what I would want to do more. Let's see if this works and we get an actual 500 now. We do. Okay, so we got a 500 in custom error. Now, just to verify that this really is what I expect, let's turn this to a 501. And let's see that that works. It does indeed. Okay, so now we get a custom error like that. Wrapping a custom error allows you to put structs with some extra data, right? Which is really nice. So let's say that I wanted to be able to pass in what the message was, and make this a little bit nicer. So if I have this custom error, we'll probably do something like a new here. So impl custom error. We'll have the message, which is going to be a stir. We're going to return a self. So in this case, it's this, yeah, basically that. Now I can say, I want error, standard error. Yeah, that's does feel a little bit weird. What if instead I had like an error and I want you to not return a self, but an error? Standard error? And so then this would be error, standard error, like that. Now I can do I call this standard error? I call this custom error. So we do custom error. Let's just reset. So custom error new, sure, not implemented. And that makes it a lot simpler here. And we've moved a lot of the complexity up into here. You're still upset. Let's see. Expected a type. Okay, so you're just returning an error. And oh, the entire public. So you become public. Yes, I know. New Clippy, don't be upset about me for not doing best practices. There we go. Okay, so we get this not implemented, and we can change this now to be whatever we feel like. So everything is fine. There we go. So now we get our 500 error, and this all sits here. So we have a very generic error function that allows me to pass in a standard, like a sort of a message here. And then we can extend this to be whatever we want inside of it. So like maybe a message, let's say a message is required, and let's say we also have like a code, but we don't, this may or may not always be required. So what if we have this be like an option that would have, like, it would just be a number, right? So we'll just make this like a U32. So in that case, oh, did it wrong place. Code option U32. We'll have a code that's option U32. And so in this case, just pass our code in here. And for you, okay, we do custom error new, and then we'll just say you're a 10. Like, we have an internal code system that we're going to use. You're code 10. Then that gets passed back in. You're upset up here. The trait bound convert from option is not satisfied. Oh, it doesn't know how to convert into JSON. Really? Oh, let's see. What did I miss? Spit back a generic error message to the client and log the error on the server side. Yeah, that can be helpful. Like, it really depends upon like the use case. Oftentimes the APIs I'm working like at work, for example, you just want to send the like a more specific error message to the front end, so it can like say, hey, you done screwed up in this way. But of course, if it's like a back end and it's really our fault, we may or may not want to display that for the user. Can I show the error enum? That would be right here. Yeah. So you're upset. HTTP header convert option U32 is not satisfied. Well, I mean, that's true. It really depends upon like if you have confidential information to leak or not. Yeah, the OK could be used for the OK case as well. You can use it to return different return types for valid calls, though there are often better mechanisms for this. Yeah, that could be really good too. And we haven't gotten to the point where we're working with front-end stuff with database like return types, which will be important for us to get to when we get there. So why are you upset? I should be able to serialize an option to a U32, but okay, following implementations are found. Interesting, like cookies and static. Required because the requirements on the impl of convert into Rocket HTTP header on option U32. So it doesn't like this one? If you were, okay, what if I just made you a U32 and then I would just say, hey, you're a U32, like that. Oh, so it's not the option, it's the fact that it's a U32 that it's upset with. Deriving responders and structs is a little special. The struct members have specific meanings. Oh, okay, so I can't just do whatever I want here. The message is, oh, okay. So responders. There's there where was this thing? A responder. Right. Okay, so I can do, it's these type of things then. Okay, that's what's really important, is I can do like inner, header, more, unrelated. There's probably more stuff in here too. Message just happens to be one of the ones that's perfectly allowed. And I lucked into that. Interesting. Okay. Hit F12 on a struct. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see where this goes. So on this struct, you're talking about custom error here, right? I mean, that's all my stuff. Unfortunately, I don't think that helps. And we can see here is like 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the 4 places that we see this. So what we can put in here is really important because we're deriving responder. I think I would have to have another layer inside of here. So like if I do now this one, look at this. Create response is like this just message here. So if I say like, hey, you are a create response. Do you work? Then I mean obviously yes, it gets a little bit weird here. Because like your message is like this other thing, but that means we can have like the actual error itself be another struct. So it's like a struct in the struct that gets passed back. So what would that be like? That would be I don't want to call it like a response. That's why like I don't know what a good generic response would be. Generic badly named response. So if we do I return to custom error though through the error enum, yeah I am. So it's through this. And it has like its special like new which returns this. So if I do this and I just want like maybe we're gonna have like our data and that's gonna be, I don't know, that would be like okay, we have this message and a code. Now here in a custom error, I want you to be this badly named response. Okay, so it needs to implement. You shouldn't need the responder in custom error then? Oh, okay. For some reason I thought I did. Maybe I don't. And then, okay, so let's go back to string. Here's our error. You're a custom error. You are saying the trait bound responder is not satisfied. So this is where I keep on this. That's why I add the responder to custom error. Let's take a look at this. And I wonder if I need a responder wrapper in order for that to work. So you have an enum, or this person, Sergio Benitez, has an enum status class. Well, they create a macro. Okay. Darth Millennial, hello, happy Sunday. Wait, this is in the rest. Oh, it is Rocket Core. Interesting. So they have a 500 stuff in there. It does look like it. It's in the master branch. It's public, so I should be able to get at it. Wait a second, what version am I on? We are on 0.5. It's still public, okay. Still has all that. I guess I want to use server error. Yeah, probably. Under my derive. Is that a derive thing that I can do though? It'd almost be like I want that to be the type of response that I have. Is like one of these status classes. It's like then there's a, okay, status class server error. But what are you? These are HTTP status classes. So HTTP status. Let's see. How did we set that? That's not quite what we had done here, where we can set the status to be like whatever we want. This is creating our own error enum. And then we're responding with this. So I guess it needs a responder for the sub data because you don't need to specify response data on the enum members. Oh, okay. That's what it is because this needs to match responder because this has responder here and all the way through. Yeah. So that does mean it's a little bit weird. So then you custom error need to be responder here. Try wrapping your custom error in JSON. Oh. I guess typing would be like this, right? Now you, okay, error, standard error, and then we're gonna do a JSON like this. Not yelling at me. There we go. And now we get this. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Now I get this code. So where to put these? In general, so like just over the years, what I've learned as like API development is having like a standard data structure that is expandable is really nice. Something really nice for that. So probably having responders as its own file that we can just put those in there would be helpful. So let's create a new file and we'll do like responses. So the idea is here we want like success and error responses can go inside of here, and they're going to be very, very generic responses, right? So we're going to have pub struct like success response with like a data. I don't know. Probably success response with data. And let's just do that. Pub struct error response. Now, in order to do this, I want to come back into main to library. So we're gonna do pub mod responses. And we're going to take what we learned from here. So for this positive response, we just need to derive, debug, and serialize. Okay, so we'll probably have something like data, and you are, well, it actually like, it's helpful to have like data and then some kind of JSON, but probably a string. Yeah, would like, this would be like the stringified JSON data. But I wonder if I can also just say like, hey, you are like this JSON. Like you're a Rocket Survey JSON. I don't think you're a type though, are you? You want the response to be a JSON with message and status? Yeah. Well, then there's like other things, right? Because so there's this idea of JSON API. Have any of you like actually used JSON API? I go back and forth on like the full specification, but I definitely like it over just willy-nilly, like not really doing it. So the idea of JSON API is it's a standard for setting up your JSON data, so that way it's extendable, and also it works in many different scenarios, and it's just something that your front ends and back ends can rely on you receiving like just the right shape of data. So here, for example, like there's a section links, where you can say like, okay, if you're doing pagination, for example, this could be really helpful. It just has, okay, you want the next page? Here you go. Here's the URL to get the next page. The backend would be in charge of creating that link for it. Now, I don't usually do this type of stuff, and this is all optional. Like you don't really need it unless you need it. But the data here, if you put data at the beginning of it, that does allow it to be extendable. It just adding more stuff in. Well, for certain APIs, that's perfectly fine. But what I've noticed at like my work is the more complicated things get, the harder it is to change it, unless like you use some kind of like good, strong, I don't know, like data structures like ahead of time. Like if you build these in for extendability, like for example, here, data is if you say like it's always an array, so even if it's an array of one thing, then you can have like whatever you want inside, right? So this is just a suggestion, right? This is not saying everything has to have a type. And then you can have, okay, like these, you could have an included, or you could have, I guess in this case, it's that, but specifically, I have like a list here. Yeah, so you can have like specific status. Wait, no, that's status of that thing. Where is it? Top level. Data, errors, and meta. And then you can have other things. Yes, they kind of stick with that flat version. And they're just trying to say like, okay, be very specific that your data always follows the same structure. You only use the standard if you like the data structure of the standard. Well, yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. And of course, this is the beginning spot of it of like this. If you're like running your own stuff, then I would probably start with something like this and then customize the heck out of the standard until it makes sense for like your case. So if I were to say all of our responses, and I don't necessarily know all the data I need to respond yet, which is why something like this might be helpful, is because I can say, okay, we're going to respond with data, and then whatever this is can expand or contract, and I don't need to like change it in the response. And then this response can handle different types of data being sent back from the API, which is what I want it to be able to do. So that's the next question here is, can I basically say, data, you're like a T, or you're an array of T. Like maybe you're an array of T. To match this. Getting people trained on standard will be a huge hassle. Yes, but I guess like think of it from the other side. Having 10 standards in one company would be even worse hassle. So I guess like everything that I'm talking about here is trying to make sure that like if you have 4 teams doing data stuff, make sure they're all doing the same thing. Otherwise, it just gets to be a nightmare when they try to communicate with each other. So based on like this very basic idea, if we do something like T for this, now I want to say T, you have to, where T is serialized, which means we also need to, okay, we derive serialize for this. We also need to tell you what that is. So import serialize. Now we also have like potentially errors, like errors would be probably also T, or would we just want them to be a vector of strings? And then probably like a code, which would be a U32. So if we do something like this, we don't even need an error response anymore, do we? Because now this can handle everything. It's like, if we have data come back, now there's been times where like, okay, there's an error and we have data. Although if I do something like this, could I do an option T, an option with the errors? That could be interesting too. Then I don't need this error response. Then we have this just one success response here. This data can be an array or not be, because either one is serializable. Now, I have this here. Let's go back to our routes and sort of see if I can just use that one. Oh, I won't be able to use it for an error, will I? Because it's not going to implement responder. So in that case, having an error here probably doesn't matter. We're going to use data encode, and that means so error response, we'll have to have our message is a string, and that's it, really? We can derive debug, serialize, and then responder. You shouldn't need where t serialize in a struct which derives serialize because it's implemented. Oh, okay, that's a good point. All right, back to you. So we don't want this custom error anymore. It is generic. It will yell at us when we need to change it. I don't need you anymore. I don't need this badly named response anymore, or this create response. Okay, so what are we doing? We have this enum error. Now I kind of also want to move this over into responses, don't I? So cut you out. I'm gonna go back into you. And so here we have an error. This is going to be a JSON with an error response. And we're going to say that you're a 500, but then I can't really just say like a code in here unless I put another struct inside of this, maybe. Hi. Are you done? That's all the pets? He's now on the other side, so you can't quite see him. Hi. Just gonna hang out here in front of the monitor. Okay, so if I do that, you're all happy here. Okay, so come back to you. Oh, I can turn on cat cam. All right, then, okay, so we do this create. Now, our result, you are going to be this error, which we are going to grab from there. Now you're happy with that. Now we do have this custom error thing that we have to deal with here, and we'll probably have other structs and functions that will return our error, like this error, or the response. And so we'd probably just like run our code with a question mark on it, which would be nice, but we're sort of forcing an error right now. So, hi. What would you like? Oh, I know what you want. Do you want this? I have a little bee thing. Here. Ready? Go. I don't have his mices down here. I think they're all under the couch upstairs. I'll have to go find them later today. Okay, and then this response. So we have a, what did I call this? This is a success response. Now, this has like a T in it, so I have to give it a type that it's going to have. We don't have a more specific response right now for that. So that might be, let's imagine that we have like another pub type per response. So maybe I should break this out into like error responses and success responses. But let's do like, I don't know, like we'll do, this is like your points. It's like, we'll do this like, oh, you want, call this like points. I feel like something you only use once you've hit a decent level. I would say maybe. I think like if you're constantly pushing yourself to like try to like do new things, eventually you run into a point where the generics are something you kind of have to use. But yeah, like until that point, it's kind of hard to like force yourself to use them in situations that don't require it. It's not gonna work out very well. So let's do like a amount of points. Like you get points. That's gonna be like a U32. Let's just start with that. Like that's all you have. Now we need to serialize it. Generics tend to completely destroy compilation times. Yeah, unfortunately. It does. So we're going to derive debug and serialize for this. What? What? Unresolved macro points. Oh. That was a really weird error message for that. But okay, got it. Okay, so then back to here, we're gonna say that you are gonna be points. Okay, so then that should make you happy here. So now we're gonna do return. So if I want to create this error normally, so we're probably gonna want to do like an impl error response and pub function creates error. And so in this case, we're going to get the message string, which is probably just a stir. And we're going to return this error. Standard error. Oh, no, sorry. We just return an error. So in that case here, Wonder if I should return a result. Probably not. Okay, so then you're gonna be an error, standard error, JSON, error response, then a message to string. Back to you. So return error, and this is going to be a standard error. Oh, error response, not standard error. Okay. Create error. That's what I called it, right? I did call it create error. Hi. Did you get done with that ball? Give me 1 second to test this, and then we'll play with your feather. Okay, error response, create error, and then we're gonna give it the message. So this is gonna be something went horribly wrong, and that's it. Now for the things that go right here, we need to create like the result from this, like these points, right? So let's say that we're getting points. So that points is equal to points. Points. You have 10 points now. I don't know. This might be better in like a get, like how many points you have. Then we're gonna do okay, JSON, and then this is gonna be the success response points. So we're gonna do success response, data, and a points. Missing code. Code 200. Okay, you're happy there. Your points. Now what? Unreachable code. Oh, points is private. No, you're not. Dota, you're heading to lurking. Well, thank you for hanging out and all the help too. Oh, I got it. You're private. Pub. Something on a site is busted. Oh no. So then, okay, you need to be the same thing. You need to be public here. Pub. Constructor will be helpful here. I wouldn't need to do that at all. Now okay, everything is fine here. So now if we hit send, now we get, okay, this 500 internal server error message, something went horribly wrong. And okay, so if things don't go wrong, so we come back to here and we say, you know, we're not gonna do this. Save, and we're gonna get these back now. Sorry. Save. Get these back. Now we get this back. We get that data, we get the points, and then we're good to go. So basically, the idea here is that these responses, we can start breaking them out maybe further. And then I'm also thinking about like the points response is actually doesn't have to be part of the responses here. That's probably going to be part of like modeling, right? Like we're going to take a model that's serializable and then that gets handed back. So if I get like 100 points back, we can then just like, you know, deal with something for that. So that probably wouldn't go in here. But it's 11:21, so I think what I want to do, Xilbe, do you actually want to play a little bit? I'm gonna spend a little bit of time playing with him. Want to play? Probably. I am West Coast, yes. Well, no, I'm not West Coast. I'm Central. No, I'm not Central. That's time zone 2. I'm Mountain. 1 hour off of Central. It's between Central and West Coast. So I think it's like GMT -7 right now because of daylight savings. That's like Saskatchewan town in Canada. I have no idea what the what like other countries' time zones usually are. People come to like Denver all the time. They just don't stay. You just hit the airport and then you get another flight and you go off. You don't want to do it? You're done? You're like interested in it, but you don't want to like go after it? It might be too cold for him down here. Oh, no. We can do only cat. See if I can get him jumping. Denver has a basketball team and a baseball team and a football team. Yes. Although I'm not like a huge sports person, so I've not really like spent too much time in those areas. Like going and watching them. But I do know a lot of people that love their teams. So my thoughts on this, like the entire project, what we're gonna do is we're going to finish. We're gonna like figure out like the architecture of the Rocket server, and I might work a little bit on it like in the little times I have between now and next Sunday, and then we'll work on a browser extension. And it sounds like we need to write 2, maybe 3 if I feel like being nice to Safari users. And then that will allow people to then start sending these like post requests over to this server. And then we'll talk about like deployment and set up a database and like how to determine if you're watching one of my videos or not. That will be part of the extension stuff. We'll next week we'll probably continue working on this, and maybe we'll be able to get to database stuff. So Firebase and Netlify, no, we're doing custom stuff. It's fun. I have no idea how to use Firebase with Rust and Rocket. That would be interesting in the future. And I don't know if Netlify has something for that. But yeah, that is the plan. Oh, Firebase has the API database for you. I know, but then the entire point of this project is to just like use Rust regardless of whether or not it's the best choice, best technology for the job. Like, isn't that how you choose technologies? It's just like choose technology and then regardless of whether or not it's the right one. I mean, rewrite in Rust, true. Maybe it's everything. Rewrite in star. It's generic. Whatever language you want to do, rewrite in. It's up here. Come on, right there. No? Okay, you're done? All right, well, that sounds like Xilbe wants me to go up and feed him, I think. It's lunchtime for him. So with that, thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me today. I will be back next week to continue working on this. And then, well, it should be good. Next weekend, I'm trying to think, like, Christmas is coming up very shortly. So I don't know what my plans are around that time, so I can't promise too much. But I don't think next weekend is that yet. Or maybe it is. No, it's the week before. Okay, I still got a couple weeks. All right. With that, have a great day. See ya next time. Bye.